Hello, everyone. This is Brad Lewis, Vice President of Sales with Premier Marketing. Wanted to take a moment to welcome everybody to today's call. We're excited to have you. We have a great opportunity for you to learn and experience a little bit more with Securian Financial today. We're going to be covering the Orion IUL product. It's a great IUL solution for your clients, and we're looking forward to learning more about the product and how it actually fits into your clients' needs. Today on the call, I have Greg Bigley. He's the Life Product Specialist from Securian Financial. Greg's going to take us through the presentation today. And then at the end, if you have any questions, if you don't mind, if you type into the question box in the GoToMeeting screens there. And then at the end of the call today, we'll address any questions that anybody has as well. But welcome to today's call. And Greg, if you're ready, we'll let you take it away.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Brad. I'm going to talk to you today about our Orion IUL. It's really a cash accumulation focused IUL. So let's look at the agenda here. So we're going to go over all the product details, the capabilities of this product. We'll get into underwriting and talk a little bit about our Right Fit Express, our accelerated underwriting program. And then we'll go over the state approval information for this product as well. So for the Orion IUL, the issue ages are 0 to 80. The minimum face amount for ages 54 and under is $50,000. For ages 55 plus, it's $100,000. There's 8 indexed account options, including 2 uncapped options and 1 fixed account option. There's 4 different loan options. There's a multitude of additional agreements available to enhance this product. And then there's an accelerated underwriting program or a simplified issue program called Right Fit Express underwriting that we can talk about here too. So the target market for this product is going to be someone, a juvenile to age 60, a non-tobacco user, basically for any clients looking for accumulation for supplemental retirement income, college funding, non-qualified deferred comp. So as an accumulation-focused product, Orion IUL really reaches its greatest accumulation potential when it's max funded. And then why would you pick Orion IUL? Well, you're going to pick it, number one, for the death benefit protection, because it's a life insurance product first and foremost. But besides that, you're going to pick it for its optimized accumulation potential when max funded. You can get coverage as fast as 24 hours if you use the Right Fit Express program. So you as the agent can get paid faster. It has uncapped indexed options available to maximize the crediting potential. And there's 4 different loan types as I discussed, but there's also a short-term interest-free policy loan that we're going to go over as well. So Orion has a few of the standard indexed account options that we have on our other products, like the S&P 500 annual point-to-point here with a 10.5% cap and our blended index. But what's new to Orion are the S&P 500 low volatility uncapped options, the multiplier options, and the high cap or buy-up option. The uncapped low volatility account options follow the S&P 500 low volatility index, which is based on the 100 least volatile stocks in the S&P 500. The high cap and the multiplier options allow you to pay an index segment charge in order to receive a slightly higher cap than our traditional indices. We'll go a little bit more in depth a little bit later in this presentation on some of those. One thing I do want to point out as well is we did just recently raise some of our caps on here. So our blended actually is at 15% now instead of the 14 that's showing here. And our participation rate on the indexed account G is 90%. That's our uncapped account. And then on the 2-year, it's actually 100% participation rate on that. So that's a September change for our caps and rates that they went up. So what is the low volatility index? The index is made up of the 100 least volatile stocks in the S&P 500. Stocks are weighted based on their volatility, with the least volatile stocks receiving the highest weight. It's rebalanced quarterly to adjust for the 100 least volatile stocks over the trailing 12 months. And here's the ticker symbol right here if you want to track that. And here's just a comparison chart here for the historical performance of S&P 500 versus the low volatility index. As you can see, the volatility in the traditional S&P 500 index here, in 2008, you can see it dropped down to negative 40% there, whereas the S&P 500 low volatility index would have been right around 0 that same year. So you can see it just kind of hangs out between 0 and 10% most years. So to show the impact of the market performance on index account cash values, we put together a piece showing a hypothetical representation of how different growth graphs would have affected indexed account growth rates over a 20-year historical period. The S&P 500 index and the S&P 500 low volatility index equivalent compound annual growth rates are provided for comparison purposes. This piece is client approved and it's available on our Lit Center. If you look at a good representation of this is year 4 here, so an annual point-to-point, the third Friday in December of 2000 to the third Friday of December 2001. The S&P 500 actually went down 15%. So if there was a 10% cap or a 12% cap or a 14% cap on that product, there would be 0 index crediting. But the S&P 500 low volatility index actually would have had a gain in that segment of 7.5. So then with you factor in the 85% par rate, which is now 90%, it would be a credit of 6.8%. Our 2 new indexed account options on Orion provide clients greater accumulation potential with a 1.5% segment charge. Our first account here is the S&P 500 with performance multiplier. So it's ideal for clients who desire participation in the S&P 500 and willing to pay a fee of 1.5% for greater accumulation potential. It's a 30% multiplier, and this is based off Index A, so it does have a 10.5% cap and a 0% floor. So if they were to come back at 10%, that account would actually be credited 13. And then we have the S&P 500 low volatility with performance multiplier. So that's going to be our uncapped multiplier option, and that is a 1.5% segment charge and a 30% multiplier on top of that as well. So here's our current max illustrated rates on all of those indices there that we talked about, 6.38, and then there's the 25 historical look back. As you can see, in my mind, it's a conservative rate of how it's done over the last 25 years. They're all less than what the max illustrated rates would be. There are 4 loan types available with Orion. We have our short-term loan, we have a fixed interest rate loan, we have an index loan, and we have a variable interest rate loan. The short-term loan is available for your clients that may need funds for emergencies or other short-term needs. This loan is interest-free if paid back within 90 days. Loan amounts that are not repaid within 90 days are converted to a fixed loan or a variable loan if available, and interest is charged from the date of the loan. Short-term loans, unfortunately, cannot be illustrated. We have a fixed interest rate loan. which charges a fixed rate depending on how long the policy's been in force. So if you take that loan out in years 11 plus, the charge rate is equal to the crediting rate for a no net cost loan, or other carriers might refer to that as a wash loan. We have the indexed loan options, which is a participating loan, and then we have a variable loan option, which is also a participating loan. And both of the index and variable are available after the first year. That's a change from like our Eclipse IUL, where you had to, the soonest you could take a variable or index loan would be year 6. With Orion, you can take it after 1 year. And the index loan account mirrors our S&P 500 Index A loan account. Here's some of the optional agreements that are available with Orion. It has 2 chronic illness agreements, including a no cost to carry option. It has an income protection agreement with the IPA Flex. And we're going to go over those bigger riders here in a second, but there's also a complete list of the agreements available on our website. So here are the 2 chronic illness agreements that are available. We have the accelerated death benefit for chronic illness agreement. You're going to pay a charge to carry that agreement on the policy. You're underwritten for it at issue. You can choose a 2 or 4% monthly acceleration option. So if you have a $100,000 face amount on that rider and you chose the 2% option, you'd get $2,000 a month for 50 months. If you chose the 4% option, you get $4,000 a month for 25 months. So it's a true dollar for dollar reduction. It's a monthly benefit. It's your more traditional chronic illness rider. We also have a chronic illness access agreement where there's no cost to carry that rider. There's no underwriting required to add. It utilizes a discount death benefit model, meaning for every $8 we accelerate off the death benefit, 10 might come off of it. The calculation is done at the time of claim to determine the amount of the death benefit that may be accelerated, and it's a lump sum death benefit. So similar to our existing IPA Flex allows your clients to choose a settlement option, paying part or all of your client's death benefit proceeds as installment payments. The proceeds paid in installment payments are irrevocable. The new agreement can be added at issue or after issue and allows for 3 options in selecting your lump sum. With the lump sum percentage option, the client chooses a percentage of the death proceeds to be paid as a lump sum. This amount can be decreased after issue. The specified lump sum option, the client chooses a specified dollar amount of the death proceeds to be paid as a lump sum. This lump sum amount will remain constant if the death benefit proceeds will increase. So like increasing death benefit option or increasing because of corridor. There's also an option to add a growth rate of 2 to 10% onto the specified lump sum, which will increase the lump sum amount on each policy anniversary by the growth rate. This can only be added at issue, and the client can change or terminate the growth rate at any time, but it cannot be re-added once removed. When the agreement is chosen, your client will select the number of years and the latest age of the insured to which installment payments will be made. For example, assuming they choose a length of 30 years and age 100, if the insured passes away at age 86, the installments will be paid out over 14 years to age 100. If the insured passes away at age 60, the payments would go to age 90. It's the lesser of the number of years or the age chosen. Orion's annual policy credit calculated and credited on each policy anniversary based on the prior year. So the factors affecting the annual policy credit include but are not limited to the index bonus. Policies that have been in force for more than 10 years may receive an additional annual bonus starting in policy year 11. We may provide a bonus on all index credits received in the previous 10 years. and the additional bonus is included in the annual policy credit. Right now, it's 1% of, you get a 1% bonus of the previous 10 years index crediting. Cash value is another factor of this. So how you're funding the policy. So if you're max funding it, your annual policy credit is going to be higher. Loans are going to affect your annual policy credit. So policies with lower outstanding loan balances, particularly in the early years, may earn a higher annual policy credit. And then whether or not you have that IPA flex agreement on there. This optional agreement allows policyholders to provide a portion of their Orion's death benefit proceeds to beneficiaries as installment payments. Higher the installment payments will result in a higher annual policy credit. So let's talk a little bit about our underwriting, our right fit underwriting, our simplified issue underwriting program. So what is right fit underwriting? What's our goal with this accelerated underwriting program? Basically, we're customizing underwriting by requiring labs when we need them and eliminating those requirements when we don't. It takes a holistic approach to underwriting by looking at a variety of readily available data, which we're able to quickly review and determine whether or not your client needs the exam, labs, APSs, etc. Clients approved through right fit underwriting will experience a less invasive, streamlined process. Their application will be approved faster, which allows you to get paid faster and provides a better overall experience for both you as the agent and the client. So here are the underwriting methods for Orion. Which path your client goes down will depend on a number of factors. So if they're between the ages of 16 and 54, they're going to go down the right fit express underwriting guidelines if their face amount is under $250,000. If their face amount is over that amount, they can choose either the traditional underwriting or the right fit path. One thing about right fit is that it has to be an e-application, so you have to go to our website and fill out the e-app. So the Orion product is approved in every state but New York. The IPA Flex Agreement is approved in every state but New Hampshire, Washington, and New York. And the Chronic Illness Access Agreement is not approved. It's approved in every state but New York and California. You guys got any questions today on our Orion IUL or on securing in general? Go ahead and type those in and Brad will get those over to me.
Perfect, Greg. Thanks. Thanks for going through that. That's a lot of detail on the product and, how it works and how it functions. I do have a couple questions here I want to jump into, and then I just want to ask a couple positioning questions of you as well. So first question that we have is from Gary is, are all fees internal, and are they broken out to allow tax deductibility?
So that if we're talking, yes, all the fees are, you can print a charges report with any illustration that'll show you the fees, and they are internal. If we're talking specifically the fees to our index account options, those are going to be a index segment charge. So it's just going to be on the money that's within the index account. So there's either the 50 BIP charge on our high cap account or the 1.5% index charge on our multiplier accounts. Those are going to just be within the index option.
Alrighty, and then the next question is from Fred. Will this policy ever become a MEC due to max funding the policy?
Well, we design it for the minimum when we run an illustration, we design it for the minimum non-MEC face amount. So we design it from the get-go for it to be a non-MEC. Now, you can MEC the policy if you allow a MEC to happen, right? But that would take, you'd have to check a box on the illustration to allow MEC, and the client would also have to sign a MEC permission form before we'd ever allow them to MEC this policy. I don't see any scenario where they'd want to MEC the Orion IUL because it's not a protection-focused IUL. But yes, it could be a MEC, but we have measures in place to prevent that.
All right, perfect. So you got safeguards in place there in case that would come up. So Lorenzo had a question on, just the complexity of IULs in general. So we'll reach out to you directly and kind of go through how to get into IULs and where to start from and the explanation of them and things of that nature, so that we can touch base with you on that directly. This was kind of a high level, how the product works, how it functions, those types of things. And we'd be happy to have that discussion with you one-on-one. So, and then Charles had a question about the presentation. If we can share that just so you can have all the details, and we can definitely do that. And then the illustration tool, I don't know if you have that available on your desktop, Greg, that you can show that real quick. Gary had a question if that's available as well. And I know obviously you guys got a tool for illustrative purposes that's pretty easy to function with. So.
Yep, what you're going to want to do is go to advisor.securian.com, just like here. And if it's your first time out there, you're going to want to register. So you create a user ID and password. But once you do that, then you'll have access. You don't have to be appointed, but you'll have access to everything on our website. So you just go out there like I'm doing here.
So you don't have to be appointed to access this?
No, you just have to register where it says register right here. You can just go to advisor.securian, hit register. It'll ask you some information, and then you'll have the same access that I'll be showing here in just a second as soon as it loads up. So yeah, it just brings you to the advisor site here where you can get illustrations. You can check your pending business with us. If you have any in-force, you can get forms here. Have a link to our e-app. You can order client materials. You can view our current caps and rates. But yeah, with the illustration software, you can just pop right up here. It brings you right into our illustration software where you can scroll down and go to Orion. And if any of you agents want help running illustrations or anything like that, we can walk you through how to do them. We're here as a resource for everybody, and including the Premier back office people. We can walk you through those. We can show you best practices, things of that nature.
Perfect. Hey, the Learning Center I know is always a hot button for agents that are new to Securian. Can you kind of just touch on that real quick, why we happen to be there?
Yeah, so we have some life insurance short training videos. These are really basic, but it's good if you're really new to the IUL business. So you can look at how universal life works, and these are all short videos. I'd say they're all 10 minutes and under. You can look at, there's one on term. You can look at the benefits of permanent life, and there's universal life videos, and they're always looking to add other things on there. We have some technology stuff you can add. We have different sales strategies that are available. This is like for Bold as business owner, Life Design, Lift is life insurance as a financial tool. So we do have quite a few resources available under the Learning Center. One nice thing about us too is you can call into us if you have a competition scenario. Let's say you're in competition with a Pac Life or Lincoln and you want to know how to see exactly what's going on with their illustration and break it down. We have a whole competition area that can break those illustrations down for you and tell you exactly what's going on and give you some ammunition for when you're going into these meetings, and you're in a competitive situation with another carrier. So.
And I think that's really key for the producers out there, is that Securian not only has great products, but they also have great resources available, and they're very accessible as well. So like Greg said, you can either contact Premier directly, or once you're appointed and ready to roll, you can contact Securian as well. I don't see any other additional questions, but Greg, you got anything in closing that you'd like to share? Or?
No, I think that covers it. We appreciate the opportunity of having us on today, and just know that we're always just a phone call away. We love talking and hearing from you guys, and we take every suggestion to heart. So just let us know. Let us know what you're hearing. Let us know what you're seeing. You're out there in front of the clients every day, so we want to make your job as easy as possible.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And Greg's the guy we go to make sure we have the perfect fit for your clients. So he's the guy that helps with the case design, things of that nature, takes all the input information, has a conversation about what the goals for the client are, because that's really important with products like this. And he's a great resource for us. So feel free to reach out to Premier directly. The 800 number there is 800-365-8208. Kathy and her team, Melissa and Kelly, are ready and anxious to help you with any case designs that you have. And I'd like to thank everybody for taking time out of their day to be on this call. And you have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much.